Okay, today I'm going to talk about how to export a static mesh from certain or most Unreal Engine 2 games and bring it into Unreal. The game I'm going to be showing you exportation from is the Steam version of Killing Floor today. So let's get right into it as soon as this works. So you're going to want to open up your map. You don't actually need to do this. I'm just doing this to show you how things are done. Like, you know, what's a good? There we go. This is the Aperture Science level of Killing Floor. Static meshes are not animated, so here's a little piece of equipment. This is some sort of manipulated arm. We're going to use this as our. We may use this, but like here's the thing. Okay. So this is in package KF Porthole Static Mesh. So what you're going to want to do is fire up UModel GUI again, our favorite go-to tool, and browse to your package. Your package is going to be for Unreal Engine 2 games. I don't remember what the name of it was. It will be in the static mesh folder. Most titles in the Unreal Engine 2, that's where it will be. It may it'll pretty much always be there, actually. I don't know in any case where it won't be, unless it's a very specific thing to a specific game. This will not work the same for Killing Floor 2, because Killing Floor 2 is Unreal Engine 3. But, okay, static meshes. So we're going to browse this folder, go in here, and we're looking for PF, I think it is PF, or what the frick are we looking for anyway? Let me double check. This is very uncooperative. KF Porthole Static Mesh, okay. There it is, right there. We're going to right click. I mean, you can, like I said before, you can go in here and click it and preview the contents of what's in the package. You know, there's all the bunch of different stuff. I don't know what we're actually exporting here exactly, but I'm just going to show you how to do it. Here's your preview. You should go right click and export. And this could take a few seconds. It's going to throw some errors. Don't really worry about that all that much yet. While you're here, you're going to want to this has a texture. For this, it's a little easier to do certain things certain ways. So there's your static mesh, and oops, I don't have that here. Crap. Anyway, oh, I know why. Because this is Unreal Engine 2. Down here, when you look into materials, you're going to need to have this file here. See? KF Porthole T articulated arm. That's where the texture in Unreal Engine 2, the textures are usually almost 99% of the time they're in a separate package. So you're going to want to also extract that file. You can do it with this tool, with the UModel. You just got to tell it where to look. And just in this case, you're going to want to look not in the static meshes folder, but in the textures folder, of course. And you just need KF Porthole _T. There it is, right there. You want to export that as well. Keep in mind, this is going to export right into the folder that you're running UModel in. Just let it export. This is very big files, so it might be a little slow. Especially when I have all this crap running. I have a lot of stuff open right now to show you what's going on. As you can see, there is our static mesh folder. Now, these are in PSKX format. What is PSKX? Well, it's pretend PSK. It's not quite what we need. So I'm assuming you want to import this into Unreal 227 as a proper static mesh. If that's the case, you need another tool. You're going to need another tool regardless. You're going to need Milkshape 3D. Now, this is a paid program, but, you know, I'm sure you can find it somewhere, unless you want to go buy it. It's old, and its real only good purpose in life is not as a modeling tool, but as a converting tool. So I'm just going to pause this and wait for it to load. And here it is, Milkshape 3D. Now for this, you're going to want to tell it to open a PSK, you're going to import a Unreal UT PSK PSA file. Now this is, they're not named PSK or PSA, which is why this is going to be confusing. If you're doing a lot of these at once, it's you can go into command line and rename the file. But if you're just doing a couple like this, it's usually not. I'm just going to show you how to do one file right here. So you don't really need to. See, nothing's going to show up in this folder when we open it. For this particular case, you got to do this down here. Do all files, then just open it up. There's our articulating arm. So we're going to export that as a OBJ model. Now the way I do this, the way you should probably be learning to do this too, is to try to keep all the file names the same. So, do that again. You got to all files down here, the asterisk. So now we just select that, take the extension off of it because we don't want the extension on for now. There's your articulated arm. Fire up 227. I already have it going here. You want to import a static mesh, OBJ. Pick the folder you exported all this crap to. Static mesh, and look, there's our OBJ. Now, you're going to want to make some package here. If I was doing this the right way, I would use the same package name from Postal. Rather Killing Floor, so it knows, which is like PF porthole or whatever the hell it is. It doesn't really matter. I would always leave the name alone because it'll be the same, which might come in handy down the line. It's going to import the vertexes here. This takes a little bit of time. A note of worthiness that if you select a lot of static meshes to import by like holding down Control and selecting them, sometimes it will throw an error saying it can't load it, but it's actually it loads it just fine. The problem is that it has too many characters in the import line. You just have to figure out where you left off in the log and continue on your merry way. So now we have the mesh in Unreal. That's great. We need to get it textured. So we need the KFPortal_T articulated arm texture. Now again, I would do this with InfraView. I don't even really think it's not really practical to use a batch conversion tool, but hold on. Yep. So if you watch the other video, you'd know what the drill is. So this is just like the other video. We have all these. We really don't need them all, so I'm just going to add this one right now so that we don't have to worry too much about it. So it exports quickly. Just, in case you didn't watch the last video, you can use Bitmap or PCX on this, like I forgot to tell you last time. But make sure that you 256 colors, and that's what really has to be done. Now, you can put the texture in any package you want. So technically, you can you can import it into the same package or another package. It won't matter. It just as long as it's in the right place. As we see, we just import the articulated arm texture. I'm not sure if this is masked. Sometimes if you really know that it's masked, you should pick masked. Otherwise, you otherwise don't. Minimaps, just leave it alone. If you're doing multiple textures, okay, all. I'm just going to do this, and there's our texture. And then we'll just move this out of the way right here. For Unreal 227, you're going to want to go into properties since it's not split. And then, uh-oh, it's broken. Maybe it's broken. Hold on, pausing the video. I'll point out that Unreal ED does not like multiple monitor setups, and that's why I'm getting all messed up here. You're going to want to go into here, get your texture, select the texture, make sure it's selected, go to the arm properties, and just tell it to use that as its texture. These can have multiple textures, and if they have multiple textures, then you have to set all, at least the first one minimum. Let's just open up a map real quick and place our mesh. Where in the fuck is the mesh? Oh, there it is. Here's our mesh browser. Make sure you have the mesh selected. Oh look, it's a big prop from Porthole in Unreal 1. Holy crap. So excited, right? Obviously, you just move your mesh around whatever the fuck way you want. And then we'll just go test play this real quick. I only have a minute left of this tutorial. It's fire up the editor, the preview here, and we'll just show you. Oh fuck. Oh yeah, just another note. When you're in the mesh package, before you're done, you're gonna want to hit save. That's real important, because yeah. Don't name it something you already named it either. Otherwise, it's gonna take shit. So yeah, there's our level, Deck 16, and what the fuck is this? Oh my god, this is a prop from friggin' Killing Floor in Unreal 1. The collision is not amazing, it's pretty close, you know, you can jump on it, and I'm lagging because I'm recording, but that's pretty much that. And just, you know, knock yourself out and start converting packages. It's that easy, really. It's just, you know, a lot of time. You gotta have the patience to do it, because, you know, you can obviously place this wherever it was in the original map. So, you know, you could take this and instead of importing it to OBJ, you can try to export it to, say, Vertex Mesh. It'll probably butcher itself. Also, you can do something else that's silly for the lulz, and that is when you place the map in the level, the mesh in the level, like so, you can do something that's probably really a horrible idea. You can do this in 227, and then throw the mesh away. You could take your brush and then add your brush. It's gonna. This is literally a bad thing to do. It's horrible. This like destroys the shit out of stuff. But if you want to make your maps 225 compatible, there you go. There's your same static mesh that you just imported from Killing Floor, and it's now in brush form. I mean, you know, it's shitty, but I wouldn't recommend that because a lot of the times things will butcher themselves. But there's a bonus to this though. See, what you can do here is, if you really want to go completely nuts, like you have your brush, right? And now you can take your brush and export your brush. I'm not really gonna. I don't think I'm actually gonna show you this right now, but let's just say test, okay? It's gonna be a T3D file. I really don't want to actually show this now because it's outside the realm. I'll have to show it separately. But what you can do is you take this brush and you put it through a program that's designed for Unreal Tournament maps. It's called Meshmaker. It turns a brush into a vertex mesh. So if you really want to make this for like Unreal Tournament, say, or 225, you can take your Killing Floor model, export it, turn it into a static mesh, turn your static mesh into a brush. It doesn't always work properly, and it will mangle the brushes quite often. And take your brush and export it into a brush, and your brush turn it into a vertex mesh using Meshmaker. I've had success with that in the past. Sometimes it's a disaster, sometimes it works out pretty well. It's luck of the draw, especially with very high poly meshes, but that's in a nutshell how you take a prop from pretty much any Unreal Engine 2.0 game and put it into 227, 225, or pretty much any Unreal title. To do what I did here, to import it and convert it, you'll definitely need to have 227, the unofficial patch from Old Unreal, and it will also need to be a version that's past F, so you want to use pretty much the latest release. And you shouldn't really have any problems. You know, sometimes the textures for the meshes, it's not very often, but in things like Killing Floor, or really specifically Postal 2, sometimes they're a material, and you can't export the texture properly. In that case, what you'll need to do is go into your Killing Floor thing, when you're in the texture browser like this, go View, Set Size, 1024, or however big, 512 is pretty much the biggest you're going to be able to go. And basically you can take a screenshot of this from here to here. Then just make sure it's the right size, and, you know, convert it the way you would a picture to Unreal. That's the only way I know to convert like materials that are not textures, like for instance shaders and stuff like that. They'll throw problems, so you'll need to do that. It's not that hard to just, it's as simple as it is. You just take a screenshot and you convert it to Unreal. But that'll wrap it up. I appreciate you watching. Make sure you like and hit subscribe.